Hello everybody, I'm Coral. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here. My tripod is a little bit crooked and I can't figure out why. And I'm going to tell you about the movies that I ended up finishing up in October. That's the month I'm talking about. On the 26th of October, I watched The Boy #2. It's called like Brahms, The Boy 2. And this takes place after the events of the first movie, The Boy. And this one was remarkably like not as good as the not very good first movie. This is about basically a doll that speaks to a little boy who finds him, and like, is the doll possessed? Is it haunted? What's going on with the doll? Overall, not super impressed with this movie. It was not very spooky at all. I don't know. Just didn't like it. I didn't think it was very good. Then on the 27th, I rewatched one of my very favorite horror movies, The Thing. This is such a great movie. I can definitely say that, at least as far as I've watched, obviously I've never seen all the horror movies in the world. I have not seen all of them. But The Thing has my favorite practical special effects in any horror movie I've ever seen. It's just so good and just visceral. This is about some dudes in like an Antarctic substation, and they're there doing research. At the very beginning of the film, some European dudes on a different substation are flying their helicopter around trying to shoot this husky dog that's running around, and the dog like runs to the Americans and the helicopter crashes. And so you're like, well, why are they chasing the dog? Are they trying to kill the dog? Nobody knows. They take the dog in, and from there things start to get really fucking weird. It definitely has those aspects of like survival horror that I love, where they are isolated. They obviously can't just like leave, you know? They can't leave. There's a storm, it is below freezing, and they don't know who they can trust. They don't know who's who, if they're friends and if their cohabitants are really who they think they are. Great movie if you haven't seen it. One of my very favorites. The next movie I watched on the 28th was Jennifer's Body. This is another rewatch for me, and I like this movie so much. I feel like when it came out, it kind of had, at least from what I heard, it was a long time ago that this came out. This came out in 2009. So it's been more than 10 years, which is so weird. But when it came out, I remember hearing like negative things about it, and looking back now, was I hearing those things because this is a movie about a girl who basically mutilates dudes that want to have sex with her? Like, is that why there's this, or was at least this like negative aura around this movie, like from what I was hearing from other people? But yeah, this is about a beautiful girl. She is played by Megan Fox, and her name is Jennifer, and she gets possessed and starts eating high school boys. It's a great movie. It's a great movie. There's lots of blood and gore. There is the great aspect of friendship between Jennifer and her best friend Needy, who's more quiet and mousy. So yeah, it's a great horror movie. On the 29th, I was supposed to watch Black Christmas, but I turned on Shudder, which is what Black Christmas was on, and up popped something I had been waiting to watch for so long. It came out on the 20th of October on Shudder, and that is the Boulet brothers' Dragula Resurrection. If you guys love drag as much as I do, and if you guys also love spooky, creepy, like Fear Factor shit, Dragula is definitely up your alley. It is kind of like the counterpart to RuPaul's Drag Race, where they have a lot of competitors who are trying to do kind of what we see as like stereotypical drag, and it like flips it on its head and like spanks its butt and puts it to bed. and then out comes the monsters. And it's just so creative and awesome. And they did this special where they brought some contestants from previous seasons back, and one gets to be on the next season of Dragula, and it is so great and, like I said, creative. It's just one of my favorite things to watch right now is Dragula. Like, one of my favorite things that is still creating content. So I watched that, and then on the 29th, or no, the 30th, I watched Black Christmas, which came out in 1974. It's the original. The first time I've seen this original one, but I believe I did see a remake of that. Maybe when I was in like middle school, did that come out? Is that what I'm thinking it is? Possibly. So like I kind of knew the plot, but this, I don't know, I feel really conflicted about this because I feel like the characters were so good in this, but the plot gets so slow, in my opinion, once they start investigating the crimes, which are that there is a killer living in this sorority house, and it's very creepy. Yeah, there's just like, I don't know, I can't say it without giving it away maybe, but there's this scene with somebody on a rocking chair that you see a couple times, and each time it's just like, oh my god, what the fuck. So it's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. I don't know if I'll watch it again anytime soon. Maybe I would appreciate it more upon a rewatch. I don't know. So the last movie I want to tell you about, actually, no, that's not right. There is one more I want to tell you about. I had a bonus movie in that I watched on Halloween. But this is Devil's Backbone. This came out in 2001. It's one of Guillermo del Toro's movies, and this takes place in Spain. It's about it's set in like the wartime. This boy gets left at this. It's almost like an orphanage, but it's also kind of like a boarding house for, in this case, this boy whose father is still alive. He just can't be with him right now. And there is this mystery about a boy who recently disappeared from the orphanage, and like what happened to him. And there is kind of a ne'er-do-well on scene, and I don't know. This one wasn't very spooky. Not that horror has to be spooky to scare you, but I don't know. I think it focused a lot more on like the historical fiction aspects of this. And I don't know. Like, I watched the whole thing, but I don't think that this is one that I'd go back and rewatch. And I don't really know what to tell you guys besides that. Okay, so the very last movie I watched is called The Other Lamb, and this showed up on Hulu, and Zach put it on, and I was like, let's do it. And this is basically about some women who are in a cult. And it's one of those cults where they don't use modern technology, and they're all kind of either married to or the children of this man they call Shepherd, and there's no boy children. So, I mean, we can imagine why that is. And basically, the character we follow is starting to realize that maybe this guy's full of fucking shit. And like, what can she do anything about it? What can she do about it? Is there anything to be done about it? I thought that this was basically just a lot of build up to a really explosive ending. There were some parts where it was like, I really wish, there are some parts that they did where it's like, you see the future before it happens. Like, you see this clip, this like 5-second clip of something happening, and you're like, this doesn't make sense. And then like 10 minutes later, you find out that that's something that happens 10 minutes later in the film, kind of, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? It's like you're seeing clips of the future. And I feel like that took away some of the surprise of the movie, I guess, because I feel like it would have been more surprising if I had seen those parts as they're happening rather than seeing them out of context and then just being like, what the fuck does that mean? You know what I mean? I really thought the ending was good. I thought like artistically, it was very visually appealing. Like they're in the woods and they're either dressed in blue or red, which is very just like appealing to your eyes. And they herd sheep. The sheep are cute and shit. I don't know. It was a lot of buildup, but it ended up being okay. And my friends, that is what I ended up watching the last couple days of October. This wraps up my October movie marathon that I did. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching all of these videos. It means a lot that you're interested in what I'm doing. Sometimes I can't get over that. Like, I'm just some fucking person. But thanks for watching anyways. Let me know if you did a horror movie thing, or even if you didn't and you just watched some spooky movies this month. Let me know what your favorite one that you watched this month was, whether it was a rewatch, whether it's one that is super popular or super not popular or super old or super new. Let me know. I'd really love to hear from you guys. Thanks for watching. Stay spooky into November. And that's all I have to tell you about today. Goodbye!